All right, we are at 29. Please get those mic screen, please. And look at that, the clock just struck 30. Katie, are we good for AV? Yes. All right, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we get started this evening, while passing to Clerk Tomasic for roll, I just want to take a moment and hope you can take that moment with me. Treasurer Reiser is not here this evening. Tragically, his son, Kent Reiser, passed away. So I'd like us to all please honor Kent with a moment of silence. Thank you. Send love to the Reiser family. Clerk Tomasic, please call roll.
Schumate?
Here.
Bosmer?
Here.
Cox?
Here.
Dill?
Here.
LaPointe? Here. McNabb? Here. Molnar?
Here.
No absent members to excuse, so I would like to call your attention to the approval of the agenda. Council, I passed out a hard copy sheet. I'm asking for one addition to this evening's agenda, which is reappointment for Zoning Ordinance Committee. It's our steering committee for which I described some of the background in the packet. And the addition would be reappointment for zoning zoning ordinance steering committee. Apologies for the typo.
I'll make a motion to add reappointments for zoning
Ordinance steering committee.
ordinance steering committee
I'll second the motion.
as item I.
Item I. All right, we had a motion from LaPointe. Do we have a second? I heard from Bosmer. You support that? I'm asking, do you have that language captured correctly?
Yes.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
And I'd also like to make a motion to move item H, the Senior Alliance local match. They have a presentation to make. If we could move them up to presentations as item B.
So motion,
There's an action item attached with that, so
perhaps we could do the presentation during the presentation and then consider any appropriate action as we get to the planned new business item H. Is council
That was
okay
the
with that?
intention.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank
Absolutely.
you.
So we can leave the new business item H as it is. Senior Alliance representation will welcome you after our first presentation so that you can be a part of that at the front of the meeting. All right. Any other considerations for approval? Okay, can I get a motion to approve the agenda as revised?
So moved.
Motion by LaPointe. Do we have a second?
Support.
Support by Bosmer. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. With an approved agenda with that item I addition, we'd like to now turn over to members of public. Are there any members of public that wish to address council? And if so, please approach that podium and make sure that light is green and state your name and address. Well, if you feel you'd like to address council, we'd also have another public comment before our meeting adjourns this evening. So with that, I'll close public comment and I'll turn over to City Administrator Witherspoon to kick off our presentation structure.
thank you. So tonight, the Third Judicial Circuit Court of Michigan is here to give us a presentation about what they do for our community and the importance of being involved. We have the Honorable Judge Kathleen McCarthy here to present.
Good evening, everyone. Mayor and City Council, I'm Kathleen McCarthy. I happen to be Rachel's aunt, so I had an extra incentive to be here today. I've been in the Wayne County Circuit Court for almost 26 years now, and we have this year and last year started to do an outreach to all the communities across Wayne County, 52 cities, to just introduce ourselves and basically give a short presentation about what we do there and provide some resources if your community members need any. So in that vein, I have a little PowerPoint, but I'm going to whip through it. So the point here is obviously community outreach, emphasizing access to justice. June is celebrate our Juror Month or Juror Appreciation Month. So we're always trying to emphasize how much we appreciate our jurors. Wayne County, as most of you all know, is the largest county in the state. We're about the 12th largest court in the entire country as well. So we have extremely high volume of cases, and as a result, we utilize about 220,000 jurors a year. So when you all painfully get that juror summons, we really need you, and it's an important civic duty for all of you. And no, you cannot call me and ask to get out of it because you're needed. I do want the people of Gibraltar to know, the community members to know, though, if you get a jury summons and you can't make it that day, you know, there's a phone number on those summonses that you can call and say, hey, I need to reschedule that. You'll probably get a jury summons most likely to sit in the criminal division of our court, which is a brand-new building, and they've made it easily accessible there for jurors. They have nice jury rooms. It's, the building itself is brand new. It has modern technology. It's very light, airy for the grim subjects that you're sitting on jury duty. But if you're uncomfortable sitting in a criminal case, you also can ask to sit at the Coleman A. Young building, where we have our civil division, and we have our, well, we won't have that in family cases, but our civil division. So you have some opportunity, if you get called for jury duty, to make some changes, not only to your schedule, but ask to be in a different building as well. And we try to accommodate that. As I indicated, we're trying to make jury duty a positive experience with parking and providing appropriate stipends. I know that we finally raised our rate after 15 years, I think. Our mission, of course, is to serve the community by providing accessible and equal justice for all, and to provide exemplary and innovative court practices within our court. In Wayne County Circuit Court, we have 60 judges. We have more than 25 referees that sit between our family division and our juvenile division. Our normal business hours, of course, are 8:30 to 4:30, and we're in 4 different locations. The Coleman A. Young building, the Lincoln Hall of Justice does our juvenile division. The Criminal Justice Center and the Penobscot building is where all the services for the friend of the court are now housed. We work in conjunction, of course, with the Wayne County Sheriff's Department for security for our court and jails, Wayne County Clerk's Office, which is the keeper of the records for Wayne County, and the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office. Our 4 different divisions, the civil division that I sit in is any action over $25,000. It includes contract disputes, property matters, election matters, real estate matters, and a lot of auto accident cases. In our criminal division, we do felonies that are bound over from the local district courts and criminal appeals from the district courts. Our family division does divorce, child support, custody, parenting time, personal protection orders, ERPOs, and the friend of the court is connected with our family division. And then the juvenile division, of course, is delinquency matters under the age of 18, child protection matters, adoption, guardianship, and truancy. I wanted to provide a resource page within the packet, and there's handouts in the back of the room for your community members to be aware that Detroit Legal Services Clinic operates in conjunction with the Detroit Bar Association. They offer free legal services to the entire community of Wayne County. Lakeshore Legal Aid is a tremendous service. You do have to be approved. It is based on your economic situation, but I've provided the email and the phone number. The William Booth Legal Aid Clinic is the same tremendous resource. They often have days specifically in the Coleman A. Young building where you can come down and get free legal help on the days that they're in the office. And for anyone who doesn't know, Michigan Legal Help has been created by the State Court Administrative Office. It is a tremendous resource for anyone trying to do almost anything pro se. You can go online and look up your area that you're trying to adjudicate, whether it's landlord, tenant. There's a lot of landlord, tenant. There's a lot of family division help on there, from divorces, if you want to do that pro se, to custody, parenting time. And basically, you put in the facts of your case, and it walks you through the entirety and prints out all the pleadings that you need to file your case. So we've become a pro se court in a lot of areas that we practice in. A lot of people are looking for low-cost legal aid. This is a tremendous resource, and you can literally activate it from your home on any computer. So I wanted to make sure your citizens were aware of that. Just to talk about the volume, I told you that we're the largest court in the state of Michigan and 12th largest in the country. The circuit court handled in total 56,000 cases last year. Appeals are 552. The civil division is 20,000 cases. We processed 7,700 criminal cases, 28,000 family cases, for a total of 56,000 cases. You know, you try to compare that to Macomb or Oakland County, the level that we adjudicate cases is about tenfold from any surrounding county, Oakland or Macomb. So that is the extent of my presentation. Does anyone have any questions?
I just want to thank you for your service.
Appreciate
and
that.
the tremendous volume that was captured there. And equally as important for you coming here today to educate our community and those tuning in about the resources that you have available and the service you provide.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Have a great night.
Thank you.
All right, it's the next presentation for which we had adjusted to pull up from new business element. We'll save the action consideration, so this will be strictly presentation and Q&A.
I have printed copies of the presentation. I did just email it to the city clerk a moment ago.
Thank you. I'll pass it.
Anybody else want copies?
Thank you.
About that. My name's Amanda Sears. I'm the Chief Community Impact Officer at the Senior Alliance. I want to thank you for putting us on the agenda to come talk to you. I was here maybe about a year ago, talked during public comment, but we are the Area Agency on Aging in Western Wayne County and Downriver communities. We serve 34 communities in Wayne County as the Area Agency on Aging. We are designated by the state of Michigan under Michigan Health and Human Services, Aging, Community Living, and Supports Bureau. It's a mouthful. And they have 16 area agencies on aging in Michigan, and so we are the one in Wayne County. Wayne County is unique in that we are split in half. So Detroit Area Agency on Aging serves Detroit and the communities on that side of the county. We've been in operation since 1980, and we're a nonprofit 501c3 organization. All of our services are free. There are some restrictions for some of them that I'll go through, but we have no cost for any of our services, and they're for the mission to keep people, or to assist people to thrive as they live, age, and grow. A lot of what we do is helping people age in the community, so stay living in their homes or community settings for as long as possible, instead of having to go into a nursing home or something like that. So we try the best we can to bring everything to them to help them stay healthy in the community. And this map in your presentation shows all of the communities that we serve. Everything that we provide, for the most part, is available county or service area wide. So There are very few things that we have for a specific municipality. Our revenue sources for last year, this is audited. I do have copies of our annual report as well, if anybody would like a copy. The majority of our funding, 57%, is the My Choice Medicaid Waiver Program. This is a Medicaid program for people who have nursing home level of care and qualify for Medicaid and want to stay living in the community. So we contract with Michigan Department of Health and Human Services for that. 23% is our Older Americans Act funding that we get as an area agency on aging. The orange part, the My Health Link, that was a dual eligible program for people who are eligible for Medicare and Medicaid. It actually ended December 31st, so that big chunk of our budget is no longer anything that we're working on. We have the new version of that is My Coordinated Health, and we work with one or two of the health plans with that, but it's a new rollout and new process with that. And then the smaller parts are our veterans program, our My Options program, which is Medicare counseling and long-term care options counseling, and then other grants and programs. Included in that all other programs, 2% of our budget is the community match that we request from each of the 34 communities we serve, as well as private and public grants that we receive. So as an area agency on aging, we are mandated under the Older Americans Act at the federal level to provide services for older adults and caregivers in the community that we're assigned to. So a sample of the programs that are provided under that through us are in this grid. So information and assistance, friendly reassurance, home delivered meals, care management, caregiver support, and long-term ombudsman. So I'll go over a little bit about each of these services and how they've impacted Gibraltar, which is, I will say, one of the smaller communities in, downriver and western Wayne. So our numbers won't be huge as far as our impact in Gibraltar, but it's meaningful and significant for the older adults that live here. So our information and assistance is kind of the gateway, we call it, to our agency. If you call us or email us at info@thesenioralliance.org, it's answered by our information and assistance team. So they're a wealth of knowledge with all of the resources and things that people don't even know that they need. They pick up cues from the callers. A lot of times they're getting calls just like, I don't know what to do. All of a sudden I'm helping my parents or my friend and I don't know what they need even. So they're going through all of that and giving them all the resources and helping them kind of navigate all of that. So last year we had 37 documented calls from Gibraltar. This year, the first 6 months of the year, we had 73. That's just ones that are documented though, and by that I mean like they talk to them long enough to like go through everything and like get all of their information. A lot of the callers, we don't get information from them, or they might not tell us like what city they live in. It just it depends a lot on the nature of the call. But we did have also over 16,000 calls as a whole last year, and that was all of the ones that were coming in throughout the region. And the top reasons for calls are in-home services, home-delivered meals, transportation, housing, and specialized information and referral, which would mean, going even deeper into the resources that they need. We also have an online database, so anybody can go through all of our resources at any time. It's the same resources that our information and assistance team is seeing. You can access on our website. So you don't have to necessarily call them. A lot of people just don't want to make a phone call. I'm one of those that I'd rather go get the information myself if I can not have to call somebody. So that's available too, that we're excited about, and it's a good help for the community. Friendly Reassurance is a social isolation program that we provide. We have older adults who are calling older adults. So it's a peer program. So it's for people who are homebound, might not have family nearby. It can be a wellness check or just somebody to talk to. They call up to 5 times a week, depending on how often the person wants a call. And they're usually about 5 or 15 minutes long, and can be an intervention. You know, sometimes if they don't get a hold of the person for a set number of times when they call, we'll call the police for a wellness check to make sure everything's okay with them. And a lot of times it's just a friendly voice and might be the only person that they talk to that day. So we have 2 people this year that we've served in Gibraltar. As a whole, we have, I think it's close to 170 people in the program. And it is with the Senior Community Service Employment Program, is a federal program for lower income older adults, 55 and up, to get job training. So we have some of them placed at our agency, so they're the ones making those calls. So they're talking to people, entering the call data in the database and reporting on it. And we also place people at other nonprofit organizations in our region. Our My Options program is one that just launched about a year ago through Michigan Health and Human Services. It's a person-centered options counseling, which is for long-term care navigation, really. And those are a lot of words that don't mean a lot to most people, but it's like helping people find the resources that they need to live in the community. So we combine that with our Medicare counseling program that we've had for several years under the My Options umbrella. And our Medicare counseling program, it's not associated with any health plans. We're not allowed to. There are very strict rules with this program in particular, so that it's completely unbiased. We help people find the Medicare choices that they need, as well as identifying fraud or abuse and how to protect themselves from scams, and then also going through their prescription drug plan. So during October through December every year, we're very busy because that's the Part D Medicare enrollment time. Last year, we saved Gibraltar residents about $1,400 in prescription costs. This year, so far, it's been about $500, just by going through their plans with them and helping them identify ways that they could save money. We don't tell them what to do. We just tell them all of the options that they have and then help them make a choice and show them how they can make the changes to their plans. And along with that is our person-centered options counseling program, like I said. This is new. We have, looks like 1 person last year, 2 people this year, but this is a very valuable program, and everyone on our staff who's trained in the person-centered options counseling is also trained and certified in Medicare counseling, so they can kind of meet all the needs of people, and it's helping family members, the person themselves, caregivers, really anyone in that care circle understand what the long-term care needs are. And this one's for people 18 and up. So this is one of our outliers. Most of our programs are for people 60 and up or 55 and up. This is for people with Medicaid needs and disabilities and 18 and up. Stumbling over those words. Our long-term care ombudsman program is a federal and state-funded program for being advocates for people in nursing homes and licensed adult day and adult foster care programs and homes for the aged. So they go in and they can meet with residents and advocate on their behalf. So they, people will contact us and ask for assistance with anything from, not getting a type of food that they want, to billing issues, to potentially abuse or neglect situations. So they're really the voice for the people in the homes. So we have 4 people actually in that program. We just were able to add one. So I don't have the numbers for this one because of the way it's reported. We report straight to the Michigan Long-Term Care Ombudsman Program, so it's not as easy to pull the numbers for each specific community. But they are in all of the licensed long-term care homes in our region. And our transportation program is a right of last resort, is what we call it. So it's for people who need transportation to medical appointments, non-emergency medical appointments, or social service appointments. And we can provide curb-to-curb service, so we say it's hands-off, so we don't assist people to get in or out. But we do have 2 wheelchair vans, so we have 5 transit vans, 2 can take wheelchair appointments. It's completely free, and by right of last resort, we mean that we try to find any other resources that people have, because there's such a high need for transportation, that if we can help them identify a friend or another service that doesn't necessarily cost a ton of money that they can afford, we have them do that instead of taking this, because there's a lot of rides that we have to turn away each month. We had 10 people from Gibraltar last year. This year we've only had 2, but our program has been on pause just because of staffing issues that we've had. But we have people that are coming on board, so I'm really excited that we're going to be opening that up. And we're looking at ways we can expand this program as well, because transportation is such high demand and so expensive. So trying to get older adults where they need to go. Our nutrition programs are really, when I say I work at an area agency on aging, most people don't know what that means, but almost everyone has heard of Meals on Wheels. So this is really one of our most popular programs. So we contract with Wayne County Senior Services as our nutrition provider. They provide all of the day-to-day administration of the Meals on Wheels program and the congregate meal program, as well as liquid nutrition supplements. They had 32 people in Gibraltar last year for over 5,000 meals. And this first 6 months of this year, and this is our fiscal year, I should have mentioned, that starts on September 1st. They had 40 people enrolled, and we've given almost 4,000 meals this year. So they work with sites all around the area to make sure that people get 5 meals a week. We don't deliver 5 days a week because we've been struggling to get volunteers. It's been a national issue. It was hard before COVID, and then since then we just lost a lot of volunteers, and we've been trying pretty much everything that you can think of to get more, and now we're looking at potentially adding paid drivers. So we work really closely with the county. For any of the services that we fund but don't provide, we provide an oversight to make sure that they're meeting all of the program requirements and being fiscally responsible, and that everything's done correctly. And a lot of them we work extremely closely with, like the meals program. We also provide holiday Meals on Wheels on days that the program doesn't operate, like Christmas, Thanksgiving, and Easter. So those meals we coordinate ourselves through fundraising. And we had, I want to say it was close to 5,000 people in our region last year that we provided holiday meals to. And it's usually like a nicer meal, because we're able to fundraise for it and just give something special. And we recruit all of the volunteers for that as well. And then Senior Project Fresh, our farmers market coupons, or they're not coupon, until 2 years ago they were coupons. Now it's an app. But it's $25 farmers market vouchers for low-income older adults to get fresh Michigan produce and honey at participating farmers markets. So we help with the technical assistance of getting people signed up for that. And then I included in here the contact information for Wayne County, since they're the ones that provide the Meals on Wheels program. And then lastly, in here, I have our care management and case coordination and support and our My Choice Medicaid waiver. These are our in-home programs. So we have nurses and social workers working with people to help them stay in the home. Our care management program and case coordination and support are Older Americans Act funded. So they are for anyone 60 and up who qualify for the programs. There's no income, no requirements beyond the medical requirements to get the program. So I do always say that there's wait lists for these because they're so high need and there's only so much funding. So our care management is for people who essentially have a nursing home level of care need, but live in the community. So we can bring personal care, homemaking, respite services, and more into their home. They get an assessment from a social worker and a nurse to see their social and medical needs. And then if they qualify for it, we can purchase all of those through certified vendors that we work with. And the case coordination and support is similar. It's just for people who just need a little bit of help to stay independent in their home. So it's homemaking and usually an emergency response button. And then the My Choice Medicaid waiver program is a nursing home level of care program for people who qualify for Medicaid, meet the income thresholds, and there's an asset limit for this program, which both increase each year. We work with a nurse and a social worker, again, to do the assessments, and then we purchase the services to keep them in the home. And that is essentially it. The next slide is the number of people in each of those programs over last year, as well as some of the services that you can get.
Thank you so much, Amanda, for the overview and reinforcement of the offerings and the engagement within Gibraltar. Any questions or comments for Amanda?
Nope, thank you for coming out.
Councilwoman LaPointe has one.
Yeah, I did. It's on the nutrition program, so that's 60 and up?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm looking at the numbers, and it's like you only have like half a year, and it's gone up quite a bit, so I'm figuring a full year. That looks, like it could go up 40% over last year, which makes sense because of the cost of food. But my question is, I don't know, and for our residents, like what is the income qualification for low income?
There is none.
You don't have to be low income to
No,
qualify for this nutrition program?
Correct. So the only programs that I've mentioned that have income requirements are those Senior Project Fresh coupons that are on the nutrition slide. Those are for low income, and I don't remember, it's pretty low for that to qualify. And the Medicaid waiver, the My Choice waiver program.
Thanks, I missed
All
that.
of the Older Americans Act program are for people 60 and up, or if it's a caregiver program, it's a caregiver of someone 60 and up. No income requirements. There might be some other qualifications, like for home delivered meals, you do get an assessment for Meals on Wheels to show that you are actually homebound and can't make meals yourself, to see that you qualify for that. But otherwise, it's part of the federal rule that we're not allowed to, we can ask if you're above or below the poverty line, but we can't ask for proof. So that's in the federal rules that were updated, I think, 2 years ago and enacted this year. And then one last thing, this program sheet is just a snapshot of Gibraltar with our serving over the last year, and then on the back it has some demographics that show like who's living in Gibraltar as older adults.
Yeah, I think my general last question or comment is, I know our team in City Hall has offered our residents the resources you've provided, and I know obviously we've had you come to the public comment. Is there any other suggestions you may have on how we drive more awareness and ultimate utilization. I'm just thinking about even information and assistance, right? You got 16,000 plus captured data points, and we're sitting here at 37 or 73. I know we're small relatively, but we're not that small relative to the overall service area population. So what do you think on how we might dial up?
Yeah, so I know we were in talks last year. I want to say it was in the fall, possibly summer, to have our My Options program operate in Gibraltar. We work with a lot of the local communities to have a community site, so people don't have to come to us. They can meet with us at the senior center, community center, or library. The person on our team retired, and the person at Gibraltar, who I don't know who it was, but they also had left the position, and then we were going to take it up, and that program may not get funded by the state in fiscal year '27, so we're kind of on pause for that. But I think it is something I want to continue to look at, because our Medicare counseling operates the same way, and that funding is federal and will continue. So it could be, instead of coming every month, we do every 2 months or something like that. But we do want to be in all of the communities. We also have an outreach person that we hired a couple months ago. So, you know, one of the things I'm telling everyone is we'd love to come out and talk to people. You know, if we want to do a presentation like this, but probably more exciting, we could schedule that. Come meet at the library. We have a lot of caregiving offerings too. So I think, you know, any opportunity that we can come share about our resources and what we can give to people would be welcomed, because that is the best thing, is that most of our, or all of our services are free and they're available for the benefit of everyone. So we want to get the word out more.
Well, I think it's a good closing, which is a call to the action for anybody listening or tuning in any capacity, that we have over 1,400 16 older community residents, and our analytics are showing very small numbers relative to that. So you heard Amanda, there's a plethora of resources, and if you have any questions, obviously they have their contact information, but the wonderful ladies in City Hall also have all the resources up front and available for anybody listening and looking to tap in.
All right,
Thank you so much, Amanda.
Thank you.
Amanda, real quick, can I give you my card and we'll try to set something up for the community?
Yes.
Thank you.
Really appreciate you for the presentation. Thanks. All right, that will close our presentations, and I would like to call your attention to our consent agenda. I will not read them since they are publicly noticed and thorough in their volume. Looking for a motion to approve items A through H.
Motion to approve consent agenda, items A through H.
Motion by Bosmer. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Lapointe. Any discussion? Clerk Tomasic, please call roll.
Dill.
Yes.
Lapointe.
Yes.
McNabb. Yes. Mulnar. Yes. Schumate.
Yes.
Bosmer.
Yes.
Cox.
Yes.
Motion carried. With that, we will look at unfinished business, for which there is none. So I'd love to pass over the floor to City Administrator Witherspoon for item A under new business.
So new business, this is a bill for work already done from Flow Air Heating and Cooling. As discussed at the last meeting, because Councilman Molnar has to abstain from this vote and it needs to be unanimous, we're pulling all bills related to Flow Air and putting them under new business for your consideration.
And if you recall, we had, I believe, blanketed a motion, Clerk Tomasic can keep me honest, about,
You did not.
You did
oh, we did
not.
not? Okay, so we would need a motion.
Request, I'll make a motion to recuse myself from any consideration on item A of new business.
Second.
Do we need the motion to
Before-
state abstain or recuse? Is the same, one and the same for legal
thing,
purposes?
But before we go to that vote, do you want to make a motion that you abstain from all future Flow Air pursuant to our attorneys?
Save ourselves procedurally?
Yeah, well, let me restate my motion then. I will make a motion to remove myself from all consideration of any bills or quotes from Flow Air Heating and Cooling from now going forward.
Thank you. Does Councilman Dill support that revised
Yep.
motion? Clerk Tomasic, do you have that?
Yes.
All right, discussion.
So I have an objection because that was not in our packet as discussed. So I don't really understand where we're going, what we're doing. I voted no to let him bid on anything. So do I continue to vote no on every invoice? Or this, I won't have another opportunity? Or this just means we don't have to stop, we'll still pull the check? We won't pull it, there's nothing in the council packet explaining this proposal, and this motion,
So-
there's no recommendation written here in our packet.
This is just a check that is meant for council to approve. The actual expenditure itself has already been approved by council. So this is the same as the rest of our check runs. We just pulled Flow Air so that Councilman Molnar is able to abstain just from this check and can still vote on the consent agenda and all the other.
So the way I would interpret that, Councilman LaPointe, hearing your concerns is, since we talked about this and we didn't run into the procedural hiccup of removing a Flow Air invoice for payment every single time it's in consent agenda items, they took
I
the
understand the problem.
Okay, all right, now let's get to your concern, from what I understand. This was an already approved item under council, so this is executing payment under the approval of the expenditure. Is that correct, City Administrator
Yes.
Witherspoon, right? So hearing your material concern, we would then have to look at future, if there's a look at council approving work, and then that would be an opportunity to address your concern. In this case, work's been done, so we're looking to approve the payment.
This motion is just to allow me to recuse myself.
Yeah, and I think we should put you, the background context obviously is in light of the invoice, which I think you're
But
expressing.
then another motion was made on top of that, after support was given, to recuse him from every invoice.
I think
that
he
we pay
amended
Flow.
his motion.
He
which I
amended his
support.
motion.
Did I misunderstand?
Yes.
Yeah, we have an active motion on the floor now that was revised and supported with that revision that allows us to not each time we have a Flow Air item, allow him to abstain, but rather perpetually moving forward, allow him to abstain with this motion if so carried.
Okay.
Okay, with that being said, we have the motion. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
No?
Any opposed?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carried, and back to the item now that we have a approved ability to abstain. You want to recap
Oh,
the item? Just-
sorry, yes. So again, this item is just a approval of the check for work already completed by Flow Air on our AC system.
Motion to approve the payment for the vendor.
Second.
We have a motion, and just be specific for me if you could.
Okay.
Bill's referenced according to the agenda.
You want the bills of reference? 23B, Flow Air Heating and Cooling. Is there a dollar amount? I'm sorry.
$5,088.
$5,088 to be paid out.
Okay,
Good.
we have a motion by Bosmer, and then Councilman Dill, did you second that?
Correct.
Discussion, please.
Support of this, they've already been approved for the work, need to pay them for their services.
Council Boyd, did you have something you want to add?
Just so we're clear, I voted no that, not to let him bid on anything. And then there was a meeting when I was out of town, and then I wasn't there, so I couldn't vote no. So then we were awarded a contract. Now we have invoices. The company did the work. I'm going to vote yes to pay this invoice because I think it is not right, but I don't want to have to explain that, but I kind of do. So I'm voting yes to pay the invoice because the work's been done, and I believe that the company is owed the money, but,
I appreciate your explanation.
okay.
All right, any other discussion on this matter?
Is there a reason why you feel the Flow Air shouldn't quote to our community?
I'd be happy to have that, first of all, we shouldn't be crossing the table, so all comments should be directed to the mayor.
It is
And
discussion on the item.
Point of order, Mayor.
Councilman Cox, please proceed with your discussion.
I'm asking for an answer of why.
Would you like to answer that?
And I'm
Councilman?
asking for a point of order. It's inappropriate for a council person to ask another council person to justify their vote.
Understood, so at that point, we will move on. Any further discussion on this matter? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carried.
I'll abstain.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do you, just procedurally for future, every single time we visit an item that would be pertaining to that open abstain acknowledgement, we would request his abstain verbalized?
Yes.
On the vote, yeah.
Yep, great, thank you. With that being said, I'd like to call our attention to item B, which is reappointment to Zoning Board of Appeals. Council and members of public, as captured in our packet, just a little bit of background here. Motion that I'm requesting from council is to reappoint zoning board of appeals members James Defend, Jeff McCarthy, Rick Markham, and Dan Harris. Just for background, as you all know, and as our community knows, we've wanted to better update and align the term dates for all of our commissions and boards. Shout out to Clerk Tomasic, who helped put together a matrix, so we're evaluating that matrix, and I've been pulling in reappointment considerations over time in meetings. If you'll recall, there's been many meetings for which appointments have been made or reappointments that have been considered. In this case, we've also, I want to thank our community members who've been stepping up. We've been adding members to our commissions and committees, so thank you all for putting your hands up and getting to work to help support our community. Most recently, in this case, Marcia Cosmore on 3/9/26. I've expressed this, but as you know, the 3-year term considerations must be accounted for as we think about active representation. And with that, you'll see the table that I've captured in here, which is we have some very long-standing members, and their terms are very long-standing expired. And so we need to get to work on making sure those are up to date. So with all that background information, I would be looking for a motion to reappoint zoning board of appeals members James Defend, Jeff McCarthy, Rick Markham, and Dan Harris.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion by Cox, a second by Dill. Council, any discussion on this matter?
Just a quick question. How many, I don't have the charter in front of me, how many seats are there open for the zoning board? Are we filled now after having Marcia on there that we appointed? And then with the reappointment of these four gentlemen?
That is, Clerk Tomasic, please confirm, that is my understanding, yes.
We're full with regular members. And then we have
Fantastic.
one alternate member.
Yeah.
Okay.
Blake Eager's alternate, if I.
Like,
Like
Eager, okay.
is our alternate, Marcia's a regular.
Are we going to, is there a requirement to stagger these terms at all? To where they don't all, because I believe then 4 members will be up all at the same time, over and over and over.
Agreed.
Would we want to stagger these, or?
If I may respond with that. I had thought about that methodically and actually raised that with you all in previous discussions when we talk about planning commission as an example. My logic is quite simple, and Councilman LaPointe had some really good suggestions here. I hear you on the staggering. By definition, your term is 4 years, my term is 2 years. Appointments can be considered and turnovers of administration. So I don't see it as a lack of staggering presenting a material risk.
Okay.
Given that
Yeah.
situation. That's my logic.
No,
right? So
no,
I
I-
hear you
yeah.
on the staggering, but that drives administrative complexity in what is a plethora of matrix commission and committee appointments that I'm trying to work with Clerk Tomasic to clean up with
Yeah,
you all.
yes.
So for all of those reasons, if I felt there was a material reason why staggering be advantageous or staggering would help empower turnover, I think I would be more amenable to that.
Yeah, and I'm good either way, just clarification. Charter
That's
doesn't
only my
require
opinion.
it.
Councilman LaPointe, I think, has some suggestions.
But does the council, but does the charter or the ordinance require that?
I would
I agree with the logic, I'm fine with it, but if the charter and ordinance says otherwise.
I would defer to our clerk and our city attorney for any expertise they may have, and if not, I'm glad to take his follow-up. You see any requirements for specific staggering?
I'm looking right now.
Also, just make clear, I have no issues with the appointments, or even if it's all at once, I just,
It's a good raise, and while they're looking,
Compliance.
Councilman LaPointe, you've been patiently waiting, please.
I just wanted to add my research from the last time, because
Yeah.
the mayor and I had met. There's best practice, and it's somewhere in the state, but I'm going to let the attorney answer the question, because I don't know if it's an actual mandate. But the theory says you don't want 4 inexperienced zoning board of appeals people coming up the next time. So if you stagger them, you have some consistency. And it plays just like mayor and council, 3 go, 3 stay, and then you alternate.
Yeah,
So,
then you
like,
have-
I'm for staggered appointments. I want to appoint these 2 people, but if we could stagger so that they don't all up and expire at the same time again in 3 years, then I think we should do that.
Yeah, I-
It's not hard.
I agree, like I said, it's not a point of contention too much.
Staggering's already built in, is his answer.
It's already built in based upon the terms of, so put my glasses on.
Can't hear them.
So the initial term is 1 year, and then there will be 2 members for 2 years, and then 2 members for 3 years. So the staggering's built in already by the way it's written.
Okay. Is there any way we can we table this till we can figure those
Yeah,
terms
because
out then in accordance with that and then
So-
appoint?
I think the problem is the last line of that sentence that says subsequent term shall be for 3 years. So in other words, because we hadn't been following the reappointments on the schedule we should have been as a city, now everyone is under the subsequent terms, which the charter calls for being 3 years.
but
But an appointment would fall though under one.
Yes.
Right, now we're doing
yes,
it again.
but
so
we
it's-
don't determine who is on 1 year, who is on 2 year, and we also just appointed Marcia for a 3-year term. So I see where you're getting, I think that was originally when it was created, that first batch of folks, but I'm not sure that that would necessarily, I think we would have to explain that here, especially after we've
And just,
appointed, I'm sorry, I don't mean to add complexity to it, but.
look, I hear the discussion, and just for context, maybe one other data point's important. Clerk Tomasic, can you advise in the next ZBA meeting if,
We don't have one this month,
so
so
there's no time sensitivity to this matter?
So I'll move to table for our next meeting, and then we can bring this back, and we'll have the staggered appointments in the years, and you can decide who you want under 1 year, 2 year, whatever.
I think we'd withdraw the motion
Point.
procedurally.
Or postpone.
Do you want
It would be-
postpone or do you want withdrawn?
It's probably easier just to withdraw it and then postpone it, so there's not a motion that's out there pending.
Okay.
So well, you can withdraw the motion if you so chose.
this is Councilman Cox.
Make a motion to withdraw.
Okay, so there's no motion. so-
Yeah, I support the.
Support
withdrawal.
that, okay. Now, do we need a motion to postpone for next meeting?
Yes.
Would anybody like to make a motion to
Make
postpone?
motion to postpone to the next meeting, this subject matter, about zoning board of appeal
For the
appointments.
purpose of staggering the terms and as recommended by the city attorney.
Support.
Thank you.
Support from McNabb. Discussion, just for transparency, members of public, these are terms dating back to 1997, so we're well out of date from a timeline perspective.
Oh,
That's the goal to make sure. So when I said longstanding, I wanted you to have that context, and thank you to the members that have served this community for so long.
Mr. Mayor, I don't know how to request it formally, but can we have the motion read back to us, and is that what the motion maker made?
I have to postpone the reappointment of the ZBA members due to
Or due to the restructuring thoughts, the staggering thoughts of their appointment timeline.
Okay.
Is that appropriate? Sorry about that, my voice is really weak.
Make sure that you get that accurately.
I have the action item down accurately if it makes everyone feel better.
Yeah, we can do that way, I'm fine with that.
Okay, and then we had support. No further discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. All right, we will turn over to our next item, which is our kayak launch, item C.
Thank you. So I'll bring our amazing Parks and Recreation Director up here to present this. But just as way of background, we have an incredible asset here in the community, which is the kayak launch, but it has not been working for several years, and Hannah has a proposal to fix it.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So this is just a proposal to purchase a new kayak launch kit. This will supplement the solar-powered kayak launch that is currently not working, so that as our summer season ramps up, our residents have a way to utilize the kayak launch in a more sustainable and safe manner. This purchase would allow us to get a kit that includes a tan launch kit that matches our launch, which is important, an installation kit, accessibility bars that go on the sides, and it includes the shipping costs. The one thing I do want to point out is the order summary I provided to you does have sales tax on it. That is in the process of getting taken off since we are a government entity, so it would bring the cost to $1,463.79.
Could you repeat that amount? I'm sorry, 1,415?
$1,463.79, so it takes $84 off the total.
Make the motion to approve the purchase of the kayak launch replacement kit.
Be happy to support that.
Motion by Molnar, second by Bosmer. Council, any discussion on this matter?
Thanks for your due diligence. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, we went, we were looking at the electrical for so long, trying to find ways to remedy that, but this is a much less expensive and going forward, will not have the cost of electricity on it and will not have one more thing to maintain. So hopefully we continue to get some fair usage out of it, and I think that'll help, so thank you.
I love it. Yeah, it was the last 2 times I passed by there in a boat. I've seen people using the kayak launch, so thank you for
Yeah.
addressing it and making sure it is safe.
So if I could, we have a donation box. I don't know if it's still there at the kayak launch, but there's ways that people from outside our community or people from our community can make donations towards that cost and other maintenance costs, so just keep that in mind. I'm sure it's
Appreciate
help
that.
fund that at some level, I would hope.
Well, thank you for all the work you and the commission members are doing. With that, any further discussion?
As soon as possible, could that be like a month or weeks? I mean, this is pretty exciting, like, and we're
Yeah,
right in the middle of,
I was on the phone with the vendor for this today, and they're working on getting the sales tax form through process. So as soon as that is processed, I will be ordering it and getting it put up with the help of our DPW department as soon as possible. So.
okay.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll turn it back to you.
Thank you. So as council is aware, we have received a request to investigate a special assessment district specifically for the Lowell Street road repairs. To accomplish this, I worked with our city attorney and created a guide explaining the process of special assessments, what it means, what would be involved in creating a special assessment, as well as some sample forms for collecting signatures to be gathered. This is not an action item for council to take. It's more so a discussion I wanted to have with you before I officially released it to the citizens. Just real quickly, highlights of the special assessment districts are they are specified areas in the city where the property owners receive a special assessment tax, which is an additional tax on top of their normal tax bill. This is meant to cover the specific public improvements that the special assessment is dedicated towards. An example would be roads. They can be established in an area with a majority of property owners supporting it. If 51% of the residents support it, the other 49 will also be assessed that same tax. Projects utilizing special assessments like roads would still be subject to the same city criteria and standards as projects not within a special assessment district. This includes engineering standards, and they would be city projects. So a road is still owned by the city. The special assessment is just a mechanism for paying for that road, which in turn allows us to repave the road or redo the road sooner than we would be able to if the city was bearing the full cost of that. It's important to note that we discussed this at the last infrastructure committee meeting, and they are in support of special assessment districts being established. They believe it will significantly help the city in defraying some of the costs for our many projects that we have. I'd love to discuss this with any questions or concerns you guys have on the guide. And major shout out to our attorney for helping with this. He did quite a bit of work, so thank you.
No questions or concerns, as I messaged you immediately after the council packet went out. Extremely thorough, very well put together for the residents, easily understood, especially when we have one, pending, if you will. I think that this will be a great tool for them to use. Unfortunate, that we have to have special assessments, an added tax. But, if we can make it easier, I support it.
Thank you.
Just to clarify too, that we don't impose these.
Correct.
This is a selection by the residents if they choose to go forward. So this isn't a council action. This is the residents making the.
Yep.
And to clarify my point, I'm just saying all taxes are unfortunate. You don't
Yeah.
have to have them. Not that we were imposing them.
Well, it puts
Yeah.
the decision in the majority's hands.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Please.
I appreciate the information too. I have mixed feelings about it. I think it's a slippery slope. I'm very concerned about it pitting neighbor against neighbor. You know, I don't want to live on the street where 51% said yes and 49 didn't. You know, that's, especially in today's world, but regardless, there's other opportunities like bridges that we should consider this for or could consider it for.
Yeah.
So I just was going to ask if we could have a more in-depth conversation about it to see if council supports it at our next study session or whenever you plug it in there, because I don't think this is the forum to, I mean, I think we're looking for, yes, we want to do it or no, we don't. The second part is, the councilman said that we can't mandate that, and I'm not sure if that's true or not. Like, can a city impose a special, so say we wanted to do a special assessment district, is it always, we have to get 51% of those people that are being taxed?
Correct. You still
approval?
need enough
Okay, I didn't know
signatures
that
to have
either.
it
Okay.
pass.
Okay,
Yeah,
good to know.
Determined by the majority.
And then Rachel had, excuse me, our city administrator had a concern about the city-owned property. And so for that study session, if everybody wants to talk about it a little more in depth, I would need a copy of the city-owned property on a map. I don't know what those are or where they are.
So I'm actually working on the city-owned land inventory right now
Okay.
with our assessor. So one thing I'll say about this is, take Lowell Street, for instance. The city does own some property on Lowell Street, and so we would be responsible for the costs of however we proportion it out. Most communities with a road, you do frontage, so we would be responsible for our proportion of frontage
Right.
of that repair.
So we need to figure that out, like what that would be, so when we have the conversation. not
Yeah, so that, I think, for specific roads is part of, before a special assessment district is created, it always comes before council, too. So for specific costs to the city and specific frontages, I would defray's the wrong word. I would delay that conversation until there's a specific special assessment district proposal in front of us.
Okay.
But yeah, we can definitely talk about this more in depth and address any concerns or things that council has.
I appreciate the effort.
Yeah.
And I-
No, a lot of work went into this as highlighted, so thank you for bringing it to the table. And to your point, there's a lot of procedural steps in this process. This is a information guide and education opportunity for those interested in pursuing.
Yeah.
Please,
And it's not an approval for any specific
which would still come back to
a
council.
district, exactly. And, you know, the infrastructure committee definitely had lengthy discussion of this and their recommendation, you know,
Yeah.
obviously put forth here, so I'm not sure. I think on a case-by-case basis, it might warrant a study session or something more in-depth, but something as broad as a guideline here, I'm not sure that would be.
My suggestion
Necessary.
is we find a slot at an upcoming study session, but the most important part of this is if you have questions or comments, please reach out to City Administrator Witherspoon so that she can come prepared with our city attorney to be able to address said inquiries to the extent possible.
Thank you.
Anything else that you'd like to cover here, City Administrator Witherspoon?
No, I just want to thank everyone for the dialogue on this. We do have some people in our community very anxious about getting this moving. So, again, this was just, I wanted to get it in front of you as here's the guide that we're looking to put out. With the comments tonight, I think I'll wait to put this out until we can have a more in-depth discussion as council about the ramifications and considerations, kind of like we did with the infrastructure committee.
If that's the case, can we schedule something sooner than later? I know this is something that,
Yeah.
these.
Well, let's pressure test this, Councilwoman Plant, just to ask bluntly. Do we need that study session to inform this citizens guide? Because this citizens guide could still evolve, right, based on questions or discussion. Everything has to come back to council anyways. I'm just saying for time sensitivity.
To be
purposes.
honest with you, I wasn't planning on taking action. I have not read it.
Okay, well,
I mean, I understand the theory. I looked at the index and went, yeah.
yeah,
I haven't read it, so I don't know.
okay, well, then to Councilman Molnar's point, do we want to schedule something sooner? I mean, their next meeting's 2 weeks out, so do we want something?
I'm not sure it's, you know,
Do we-
necessary.
Because this could be discussed, as I'm sure she's met with those interested parties. Have you met with the interested parties,
Yes.
correct, that showed up at Pug?
Yes.
Are you able, Councilman Point, would you have any objection to her just discussing the material elements as to not delay their potential?
Well, my
interest?
understanding, again, was this is not an actionable item tonight, so
Yeah,
I'm
it's
just
not.
trying to, like, follow the agenda.
Yeah, it's not an action item because it's just merely information that I want to put out to the
Okay, and I
community.
do appreciate that.
Yeah.
What I can do, we were planning on the next study session being about water and millage rates and kind of budgetary considerations, as it's the last meeting of the fiscal year. We can slide this in as well. I think there may be time for that.
I just want to make sure we're clearly landing the plane on this. So if we have the study session in 2 weeks, she's already in touch with the individuals that have expressed interest. They have to allow a process, but this helps them get the guardrails and a general concept. Before this is materially published for the community, we'll have the study session. Councilman Molnar, but that allows her to work with the individuals to address
I'm
that.
clear, the next step, the action item would be to publish this to the,
We will not publish this until
So-
after the study session.
no,
which
but I
will-
meant after
Yes.
that, that's the next.
So, yes, I don't need an action item to publish this, but I'm hearing your concerns that you don't want it to go out to the community until we have a further
Yeah,
discussion.
I think that's a
So-
bad idea.
There we go.
Okay.
I like it. So we'll have a,
And I just want to further state, I met a nice lady at the conference that we were at, and she's talking about all the, it just blew up in their face in another community, and so she said they did it, and then they passed a millage citywide, because they need more money to do the roads, and those people aren't real happy right now, because now they're paying twice. So just those types of
Heard.
concerns. I don't know how we address them, but I'll read this, and I'll get my questions together, and
I mean, my obvious concern too is the resource considerations for our city operations, since we ultimately have responsibility, right? So I'm trusting you that that's been a part of this evaluation, but
Yes,
with
it
high
has.
volume, we would be impacted in that context.
And that's why every special assessment district would come before council.
Exactly. So
prior
we have
to.
ultimate review and approval on those pathways.
Yes.
All right. Any further discussion on this matter? Back to you.
All right, so the next item is another Kennedy Industries quote, and we'll have John come up and explain it. This, as council may recall, one of the control panels for our pump station was damaged in a car accident. So we did reach out to our insurance, and they are going to cover a bulk of this. However, John has an idea that will be more efficient for our community and better long-term.
Okay. Existing pump panel, that was damaged. To replace that is $41,708. The pumps that are in there are over 26 years old, and they're all single phase. So I talked to Kennedy, we can upgrade the two pumps and control panel to three-phase, which is more common nowadays, and it's more economical to run, and the pumps are more efficient. The cost to upgrade the pumps and control panel is $91,416.96. If we take our $41,708 that we got from MML claim, it'll cost us $49,708.96. If we elect just to replace the current panel and add bollards to protect it on the back side, that's $1,151.96. My recommendation is that we upgrade the system to the three-phase panel and put in two new pumps. Our fiscal impact is $49,708.96, and that'll be taken from the Capital Improvement Fund for storm and sanitary sewers. I've attached a better explanation to this, and the quotes that I received, and photos of the damaged panel.
Thank you, DPW Director Sant. Do we have a motion?
I got a very elementary question to ask because I don't have a lot of background like some that's.
We want to get a motion on the floor
Yeah.
just before
Oh,
we get
sorry.
discussion.
Yeah, thank you.
Anybody?
Making a motion to approve the bid as drafted by DPW Director Casant.
Second.
All right, discussion.
Sorry
Back to
about
you.
that.
No,
Thank
you're
you.
good.
John, do you have an idea, like maybe annually, of how much savings we're going to have by converting, like top of your head? Probably don't.
Depends on how much they run.
Yeah.
Okay? We pay a flat fee on the meter.
like ballpark, if it's, I don't know. I know you got heavy rain seasons and it's all variance, but
Yeah,
no.
I don't
John,
know
is
the
there
number
gonna be
exactly.
any added fees in there for like protection?
Yeah, I'm gonna
like
put
full
bollards on the
poles around
back
it?
side of it.
Okay.
I'm gonna add 4 bollards.
I have a question. I should have probably brought this up weeks ago, or I saw that control panel down for a while now. And I remember when we were replacing the Middle Gibraltar Bridge, one of the big points of discussion at the time was, can we make it higher to increase the passability for vessels going into the bridge-locked area of the canals? And one of the items that was preventing us from engineering an approach that would enable a higher bridge was this pump and the control panel, as well as the communications lines that are going to that other panel that's just east of that. I think it's an AT&T panel.
Yeah.
And if now is the time that we're looking at a full replacement of the panel and potentially even the pumps, that whole strip of land from the four-way stop to all the way to the seawall bridge abutment is a useless piece of land as is. Is there a potential future benefit if we have the ability to move the control panel minimally off to another location? I don't know if that's a question that could be easily answered or not, but
I don't know if we could or not.
I think this is an opportunity to, personally, I think it's an opportunity to go out for bid to solicit other pump and control panel contractors or vendors. We get tied to Kennedy on a lot of different systems based on the age of what's installed and what is there, right? I think this is an opportunity that if we're replacing 2 pumps, we should, and we're in this situation, I think we should solicit for numbers to see. I don't think we're held to, by MML, to utilize the contractors that have quoted, right, for the repairs.
I don't believe so.
We received prices, they furnished the insurance payment based on those quotes, correct? So I feel this is an opportunity to solicit to other vendors that perform that work to see if these prices are in line.
I hear the logic in that big picture. John, can you just comment on time sensitivity? I mean, we got high water and rains coming.
16 to 20 weeks for a new panel and pumps.
So, and then
And then
factor in the
down to how
RFP.
long?
I'm not discounting, because I think you're very logical position, and I think we should do that regardless. I'm just trying to address, we have an inactive situation here
Yeah,
with
we're relying
a
on that orange pump.
continued weather threat that was tested recently. I would hate for us to forego and be susceptible.
have-
My other question is the report on the accident where this panel was damaged, did we ever research going after the insurance company for the vehicle that damaged it?
Our insurance company would go after their insurance.
Okay.
So so the headline is we got a 1-for-1, basically.
Well, we have flight pumps in all of our pump stations.
Yeah. You all are the experts in this area. I like the logic of Councilman Cox and going out to bid. I wanted you all to make a recommendation on, does that put us at risk for a many months process
Yeah,
window?
That's a good question.
Right? Like,
Well,
that's my worry.
We gotta get an engineer involved and.
We'd have to get an engineer involved. We have to, the purchasing timelines, an unknown new bid that we've accepted, all the pathway considerations, and we will be materially exposed in a location that just got heavily tested recently. That's what I'm trying to flag.
we do have we have not removed that orange pump
No, we haven't.
forever, because we wanted it there as a backup, I think. And it's an eyesore. If we get a new pump at some point that is permanent in nature, hopefully we can eventually eliminate that eyesore in the corner.
So I agree with I would just ask council to consider time sensitivity and risk versus.
Time is-
And that's an unknown timeline in front of us.
Time is time, you know?
But I am with you on pursuing the bid process. I just don't know if this is the right moment in time to do that, is my headspace personally. But you you all know a lot more about this land than I do, so I would appreciate the expertise.
So with the two pumps that are out right now from this panel, what size are those in terms of volume capability with comparison to the Orange Extra manual start pump? If you know.
I don't know exactly.
Let's play out the practical, just commenting. What just happened in our last major rain event? And how was this pump in play with
We
it?
had everything running.
So I want everybody to just ground to that. Like, we had horrific flooding.
Yeah,
over
we
there.
had
We had, with this in operation and everything else
We had the
running.
pump we had the
we
pump station
horrific
running,
flooding.
we had the orange pump running.
We had really bad flooding, like,
Yes.
so if we're thinking we'll have a standalone orange one that's gonna cover us if something happens again, I think we're putting ourselves at material
Yeah,
risk.
we're rolling the dice.
So,
When was that last time?
It was in April.
April, yeah, I mean, it was all filled up. And luckily, we didn't have many basements, or if any, impacted in
Right.
that context, but that was not a ideal situation. The whole roadway was
Well,
flooded.
that's when this one went down, and this one here went down in April also.
Exactly.
I will say, with the lead time for Kennedy already being 16 weeks, that's 4 months out. So we're hitting the middle end of fall, going into winter season. So with that being the lead time already, that may change the idea or the urgency, I guess, and give us the flexibility of doing an RFP. If this was, say, January and the lead time was leading us into April, May, I think it may be a different conversation.
That's the exact recommendation I was looking for,
I don't
context.
know. I've seen it flood in the wintertime too.
True.
You all have more expertise, Councilman Cox. If you think there's real material benefit, we're gonna drive immediate and longer term significant savings that outweighs the risk of this, then I would love your expertise on that.
I'm one
know
of
it's a hard one.
7, and I feel that that's the direction I would like to go, because I think we're constrained, but I'm one of 7, so just voicing why I feel.
Is there a motion on the table?
Yes,
Right.
yes, to approve the quote that John presented.
Great.
So Councilman Molnar mentioned, I didn't know about raising a bridge or any of that. So like, if that really is in the cards or up for our future, then that should be considered. But I didn't know anything about that. But Councilman Cox raises a good point too. Like, our policy says if it's over 10 grand, we bid it. We should bid it. I mean, we can't like pick and choose unless, I guess the other choice is our mayor, you have the emergency powers to just take the insurance money and fix control panel. And then we can, but then that's kind of, they're 26 years old, so I can see why we want the new
Would not
pumps.
be a good. it
So
would
I
not
don't
be
know
good
what to
investment.
do.
It would
I
not be
mean,
a good
I'm just-
investment to do that. Sorry, remind me, cost on control panel for near-term operation?
The
We cannot get a
pay
temporary
the
panel.
Yeah, so there you go, so yeah.
We pay the deductible.
Yeah, for just the control panel, the cost to the city would be $500,
Yeah.
because we would have to upgrade the control panel. And John, just to clarify, is the control panel 16 weeks out as well, or no?
Control panel's the longest lead.
Okay.
That's because they custom make it.
What's a lead time on RFP and so on? Is rough as you can give us.
I believe the policy calls for council approving the RFP before it goes out, so we'd have to bring it to you at the next meeting, 2 weeks out. I'd like to give them at least 3, maybe 4 weeks to respond, so we're looking at a month and a half.
So first meeting in August, give or take?
Yeah.
Would that be right?
Would the lead times be varying across potential manufacturers or organizations?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we got a good data set building here. Any further discussion?
What's a motion? I'm sorry.
I'm
Motion
gonna,
is to approve this proposal as captured in your packet. That's an active motion on the floor.
I'm gonna withdraw my support.
Okay. Withdraw. Who seconded that, Katie?
Councilman Bosmer made the motion, Councilman Dills seconded.
All right. Do you withdraw or do you want to keep it on the
I
floor?
can withdraw my motion as well. It's fine.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I can withdraw my motion as well.
Okay.
Based on the discussion, I will debrief with you and City Administrator Witherspoon, and it sounds like we have a path to come back to council for a RFP if I see it on the floor. If you need a motion to support that path, then now would be the time to consider that.
I mean, that's up to you guys. I think you were pretty clear about
I
what you
would
wanted.
ask you to consider that we'll walk away with a motion, or not a motion, an RFP
We'll
approach.
have the engineers write it up.
I would hope that they would take into consideration future use of that, that area of property, whatever it could be used for.
No, I think it's savvy in context. All right, I know that was a lot for those that were just digesting that. Just to simplify, given the lead time and the fact that we wouldn't have anything in operation for many months ahead of us, given the 10K considerations for bid according to our guiding principles and documents, council will be pursuing a bid process for this. And we will come back with a more long-term solution to the pump situation, as well as evaluations on land considerations.
Mr. Mayor, do you want a motion about the?
I don't think
RFP?
it's necessary, and I think I've asked that for that to be in action. All right. Really good discussion. Thanks for the push. DPW Director Hassan, thanks for compiling all that information, and I think we got a good path for the broader, bigger picture ahead of us. Back to you.
Thank you. So this next item is a motion to approve the quote from Flow Air for replacing ACCU 4 and 5. I'll let John take it from here.
Okay. Existing air conditioning condenser units 5 and 4 are in need of replacement. 5 is not operational, and 4 is operating but needs additional work. Both units are the original units from 2004. These units cooled mainly the upstairs areas and a couple areas down here on the first floor. I had, Flow Air gave me a price, but seeing it was over $10,000, I put together an RFQ and got additional pricing from, I went out to 3 different contractors. 2 of them provided a quote. Flow Air did discount their price by deducting the previous repair cost. That was in their original estimate to us. This was done before the RFQ was sent out, attaches a detailed explanation of cost comparisons. So fiscal impact is $14,670 to replace both units. Replacing one unit, number 5 needs to be replaced. 4, I can't tell you how long it's gonna last. It's making a lot of noise. And I did get a combo price if we do them together. There's a little bit of savings. Well, each contractor had a little bit of savings, but Flow Air, it's replacing the units with 2 new Rheem 5-ton units with new coils in the furnace section. And I did get pricing from Expert Mechanical Services out of Wyandotte and Guy Messler out of Wyandotte. It's my recommendation to go with Flow Air for $14,670, replacing both units up on the roof.
John, since you provided the overview, can you just provide any practical impact to those in the office day-to-day? Can you help educate folks on how that's impacted their day-to-day environment?
It's hot upstairs. We can't use the upstairs. We were lucky enough to get the museum cooled down for the government day.
Yeah, I recall. We had to do quite a bit of ventilation.
Yeah.
Okay, with that being said, you got the background. Council, anybody want to make a motion to approve the quote?
I make a motion to approve the quote from Flow Air for replacing units 5 and 4 in the amount of $14,670.
Motion from Dill. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second from Cox. Council discussion on this matter.
They're clearly inoperable. We were up, I believe, infrastructure committee meeting. I'm a large fella, and it was rather warm, so half of our building is unusable. So that's, we're not a third world country. I'd like our building up and running. So I digress.
And for those comments, I firsthand experienced it, obviously, with the team as we prepared for many second graders ecstatic to come visit our city hall and an incredibly hot building for which we had fans and multi-floor ventilation systems, thanks to our amazing teams, to manage what is just a very uncomfortable level of heat in this building. So in short, my position is this needs to be repaired, obviously, or replaced, obviously. I understand this topic presents material concerns in some capacity, given the previous discussions we've had. I would just say it's very clear from the merits that this is the best financial pathway in addition to the savings based on the work already performed. So I just want to make sure my position is clear on
I
that.
was going to comment that our DPW director went through the process, received quotes, 3 quotes. This is the most competitive, qualified contractor. I think it's in the best interest of our taxpayers to go with the lowest qualified contractor.
I'd like to also add, there's 2 or 3 residents that are employed by Floair, other than maybe a percentage owner of whatever his percentage would be off this, that actually take their bread and butter from this job. So, in context, I think that's important to know. They live right here in our town, and will be probably working on this building.
Any further discussion? Yes, please, Councilman LaPointe.
So first of all, our policy says if it's over $10,000, we should bid it. We all just agreed on that for the last bid. So this should be bid. It wasn't. There's a difference between a request for proposals and an actual sealed bid. Problem number 1, I met with Mr. Sant today, and we're not comparing apples and apples either. So one of the bidders put in a bid with all new lines. And so had he bid with the old lines, like the other 2 contractors, it may have turned out differently. So the point is, we don't have the exact same specs. So we need to go out to bid, and we need to do it the right way. And everybody needs to submit the same information so we can get closed bid pricing. That's my opinion.
Do we have to do that, and would this be considered urgent in an emergency?
Yeah, what
Legally.
authority do I have in an emergency authorization in this context? Just for the practical impact this is putting on our employees every day.
And this is something Anthony and I talked
I
about.
hear you, Councilman
Yeah.
Point, but like, I have made clear my position, and in these situations, I feel it's presenting a emergency use consideration for people that are tasked with working in the city hall every day in this environment as temperatures are going through the roof. So I just want to be clear on my position. So do I have emergency authorization here?
Or at least would it be considered emergency to where we can waive the bid process?
Yeah.
And if so, do we need a motion to waive the bid process?
Well, first of all,
Isn't there a
well,
distinct difference between RFP and an RFQ?
An RFQ is a request for qualifications, and RFP is a request for proposals. This, for all intents and purposes, was technically a request for proposals. John, were they sealed or no?
Yes.
Thank you.
So we followed our process then, correct?
So that, I appreciate the push, Councilman LaPointe, so let's clarify that, because that's a very material, important point. So, City Attorney and City Administrator, do we feel this was done appropriately according to the bid process? I'm hearing sealed bids. We've revisited this topic many times, obviously, and I want to get us over this hurdle, especially in the case of an emergency. So what is our legal position here? Am I able to approve this emergency authorization? One question. Second question is, does this violate in any way, shape, or form our charter and ordinances? And if you don't have the clarity now, then we'll have to call a special meeting or get this pushed to later in the agenda, because I do not want our people miserable in the city hall.
Put it off to later in the agenda so I can look at it.
So make a motion to table action item F.
Got it.
Second.
All right, that's supported. Any discussion on the tabling? We're all good?
even with emergency powers.
Mayor, point of order, no discussion on tabled items.
Yeah, no, we can discuss that
Correct.
later.
Sorry, I apologize.
Thank you for
You're
the
right.
procedural clarity. All right,
So wait, you need a motion to table, you need support for the second. Do you need support for the motion to table?
I
we
did
get it?
second.
Did we vote, or we're going to vote now?
we're gonna vote now.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Back to you, City Administrator Wiseman.
This is actually an item from Councilman Dill.
I'm sorry, I'm writing.
All good. I will tee this up. I had a conversation with Councilman Dill immediately before the council meeting. We have talked to our legal team about this, and they wanted to make it clear that any action taken on this item would need to be generalized and not specific to any specific parcel or submitted plan.
Yes, she yelled at me. I'm joking.
I did not.
Wait, I want to just, sorry, double down that. Just to be very crystal clear, I do not want any of us engaged in discussion about any project-specific elements. This is a general discussion around opportunities.
Correct. I was going to amend that, because, yes, we did have that discussion, to more broaden it. So for discussion, I'll make a motion to direct the city administrator Witherspoon to present council with options for pursuing a tax/assessment consultant and an industrial hygienist to review in M2 zoning or other zoning where data centers are allowed. Does that help us legally?
Sounds materially fair to me.
Yes.
Bingo.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Mulner? Cool. Discussion, please.
As I brought up at the last council meeting, I wanted to get, just optionality out of this. The intent is for it to be broad. What can we do here? Recommendations from the city administrator. And obviously to schedule to hopefully be back at the first meeting in July, just with some optionality. My intent is very broad in nature, and like I said, as reflected in the motion, any zoning that a data center could be placed, I'd like to see, what we could do about a consultant and a hygienist.
Yeah, I tend to echo the sentiment. I think the best thing we can do as a community and thus elected officials representing said community is bring expertise across all items. I feel like with a tax consultant or assessment consultant, there is a lot of valuable information we'll glean from a third-party expert around tax considerations when you consider projects that might be taking place in M2. Number one, and much broader utility in the tax consultant, which we've discussed with City Administrator Witherspoon around assessing taxes to make sure our taxation in this community is appropriately and fairly put out. That's number one. Two, on the industrial hygienist, I think there's a multitude of different things that the zoning ordinance committee will benefit from when they think about consulting an expert who can assess things like noise and heat and water and environmental components, as we are actively, through Planning Commission or Zoning Ordinance Committee, looking at zoning ordinance language. So I think this is mission critical imperative for us to support. I am a huge advocate for this pursuit because it brings expertise to topics that have major short-term and long-term impact to this community. Absolutely. And helps us shape the right language to support and protect our community accordingly.
Yeah, and data center, I appreciate the attorney and city administrator for obviously clarifying this, because the moratorium, it's blanket across the city, applying to any and all data centers that could apply. So, and we're in the whole purpose of the moratorium is to collect information. So I think this is one layer of an onion that we can peel back. By at least getting options, obviously, let's start really small and work into this. So this is just getting optionality, so it's not, we're not expending anything yet, excluding Rachel's time.
Yeah.
And I think it helps peel back a very large onion.
So I make sure I understand
Yeah.
the motion. We're authorizing the city administrator to look for professionals that can, at some point, if there were a project to come, advise us on tax and validate what those are. Because there's 2 pages of stuff they'll need for that. We don't have any of that for any project currently, that they need to do an assessment right now. Is that true?
Yeah, as we stand today, it would not, there's no project-specific application for this
Okay, so we're just
approach.
looking for professionals.
We were just looking for expertise as
In
we
the
shape our
industrial
zoning
zoning.
ordinance and we educate us and our members of public on
Environmental
considerations.
and tax.
Environmental and tax, correct. Well, industrial hygienist is environmental, but because it encompasses a lot of layers.
I had to
noise,
look
heat.
up what that meant, who that person was. I didn't know what they did. That industrial hygienist, that's a new one.
They would be.
It's fairly new to me, too. I mean, I'm obviously not an expert in that.
Yeah, the headline is they'd be able to assess a variety of parameters, noise,
Perfect,
heat,
thank you.
et cetera, that would be pertinent to have a city that would have the appropriate language and understanding of impacts there. We're at active motion. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. City Administrator Witherspoon, thank you for pulling that action through, and we look forward to the update accordingly.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for yelling at me.
I promise I did not yell at him.
Alrighty, next up, Senior Alliance. Obviously, earlier, we had our discussion, or had our presentation from Amanda from Senior Alliance. And with that, just want to highlight that our Gibraltar residents are receiving services and such from the Senior Alliance, and community donations attribute to, I believe it was 2% of their funding. Very small, but it's necessary. And I see here that last fiscal year, they received more than what we would have even expended for a donation. So with that, I'd like to make a motion to approve the local match to the Senior Alliance for the 25-26 fiscal year in the amount of $1,062.
I'll support that.
Support by LaPointe. A discussion?
I have a issue with the 25. I'm sorry. We voted no in 25, and it's on an invoice for it.
Yeah.
So it's coming back.
Yeah.
You're giving it, you're double invoicing us for something that was voted no in 25.
Okay, I think that context is really important. So I think there's a deeper discussion we should have here as an administration. We did, prior to our newest members joining us, have extensive discussions on this matter, including a presentation by the Senior Alliance and all of the background information provided, including the analytics and all the program overviews. So I want to be very clear, and Councilman McNabb is 100% accurate in that we did vote that down at that point in time. So with that being said, I think there's the procedural element and the practical element of the history here that you flagged. City Administrator Witherspoon, you've done some research here. I'd like to perhaps pass it to you just so you can contextualize people with facts and information, please.
Yes. So one important note is, first off, the Senior Alliance does an incredible job, and they help out our seniors here in the community. We also, as a city, have many services. We do our senior bus. We also have Meals on Wheels that operate out of the city, and we have many other programs for the city. I did reach out to all of the counterparts in the Downriver area to ask them about the Senior Alliance, because this was all new to me when it was first brought up. And many mentioned that they had no idea what the match was about or anything relating to that. But what I did find was that the services for our seniors are not diminished without the community match. So I did want council to be aware of that.
Yeah, and I know our Senior Alliance members are here. One of the really important questions that I don't think was answered was, what does this specifically go for? And what happens if no match is put forth? And I don't think that was really black and white or crystal clear. And what City Administrator Witherspoon is saying is that without the donation, there's no material impact to the services. So please approach the podium if you could educate us on any elements there.
Thank you. My name is Jason Maciejewski. I'm the CEO at the Senior Alliance. Appreciate you considering this again this evening. Specifically to what does the match pay for at our agency? The match goes to help with part of our costs related to our information and assistance operation. Information and assistance is our main call center, where people call from all over our service area, kind of a gateway to our agency. So it supports the staff that work in that, and it also supports our online database. So we've taken all of the resources that we have and converted them into an online database that anybody can access 24/7, 365. So the match that we collect from all 34 of our member communities is part of the support of that operation. Easy for us to do because it serves the entire service area, and this is kind of a proportional payment based upon your percentage of the older adult population. The total pot for this is $100,000. So the math is pretty easy to do. It's whatever your percentage of the older adult population is. Our overall budget is about $42 million. So the $100,000 pot is a very small part of our operating revenue. The question of what happens if a community doesn't contribute, you will see no material impact. We will continue to serve the older adults and caregivers in your community like we always would. This simply helps support the operations at our agency.
Yeah, so I think here's where I'll just share my own personal headspace. I couldn't be any more of an advocate for the support of our seniors and all the broader offerings. And as City Administrator Witherspoon highlighted, we contribute as much as we can as a city, independent of Senior Alliance, to contribute towards that. And we're immensely grateful for these programs. Full transparency, this was voted down. And obviously, here's where my head's at. Our judicial duty here, right, in a budget landscape that is challenging, it's hard to rationalize giving a check when there's no material benefit to that check. I personally asked our attorney if I could contribute personally on this, and that's not legally appropriate. So I can't support this for the reasons that there's no material impact, so we'd be giving money to something that has no material impact for our city in a tight budget landscape, and I think that's really important for us to consider. So I'm just sharing my headspace.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but weren't we advised before that it's not legal to donate to a 501c3 through taxpayer dollars?
City attorney can educate me on that as well.
You can't make donations, but you can enter into a contract if you're receiving specific services in exchange.
Okay.
So, for example, Blue Cross Blue Shield is a 501c3, they're a nonprofit. They provide services, though, to the city, so we pay them for those.
You pay for the
Correct.
services. Correct.
So that's authorized, but just a straight-up donation, we're not permitted to do that.
Councilman LaPlante.
I understand Councilman McNabb's point, like 25 was no, but we're being invoiced for both. Like, do we have to pay 25 to be back in on 26?
Yeah, our annual match, it's the important point. Our annual match is 531, so this is asking for both years, for which we've already revisited that. So that by itself would not be, unless I'm missing something. You're right.
I mean, like, if, I don't know, I guess I'm confused about why in 2026 we'll be paying for 25 and 2026. Like 25's over.
That's a material concern, and the redundancy for that action, because that action was already entertained by previous administration.
Right,
So there's material problems for that. And again, I don't want this to be any other signal other, like we support the senior community, we support you on what you're doing. There's no material rationalization for us paying a check that does not have any material impact to our community in a tight budget landscape. And I think we have to
So we're
consider.
starting our new budget in June, so would this be good for, like, just say we did 26 from June to June, or you calendar year? I mean, for their, like, when would we?
Answer?
Yeah, please.
So our fiscal year is October 1 to September 30.
Okay.
We go out and ask for community contribution typically in February, understanding that many of the municipalities that we work with are preparing their budgets going forward. It's typically how we've handled it.
Okay, because this is, we didn't budget for this, unfortunately, so I'm just wondering, should we amend the motion to pay for 2026, $531?
That would be you're right as motion or seconder.
Fair enough, but given the landscape of support versus non-support, I'm going to withdraw my motion. It wouldn't, even if we had amended this, I don't think there is support of the majority to approve, so I'm going to withdraw my
Well,
motion.
I think, to be fair, if your withdrawal is, you also have a reality of just the inaccuracy materially or the redundancy of a motion, right? So the information put in front of us is not accurate to the situation at hand.
Clarify for me,
We had a, I mean, city attorney can recommend, but I don't believe we should be pursuing revisiting a motion that was already put forth to council and voting on
Right, so
again.
if he
that
withdrew his
the
motion.
invoice is already, that was previous year, has already been addressed through the previous administration.
And fair enough, but I'm,
Yeah, you're withdrawing. it.
regardless,
I
I'm
hear you.
withdrawing this if somebody else wants to.
She's saying if we would like to entertain it, then that's.
The second would withdraw their motion, then there's no motion. I'm prepared to make a new motion.
Okay.
Who had the second? I did. I withdraw
did.
my support.
Awesome.
Okay, I'd like to make a new motion. I'd like to authorize an expenditure of $531 for 2026 to support the Senior Alliance, and then I hope you'll come back and visit us every year.
I appreciate that. We have a motion by LaPointe.
I'll support.
Okay.
Like I said, I still stand by this. You know, I think our residents get the services that are provided. Yes, is there no material risk? No, but they're still providing it for our residents when 33 other communities are also helping foot the bill, along with the state, along with the federal government, pitching in. That's my point of this.
Yeah.
They're all pitching in for us to also get these services. So that's where my stance is.
Mr. Mayor, to your point, while we're going through this current budget year where we reduced our expenditures in several of our departments, at least budgeted expenditures, we also have gone through some negotiations with some of our employment unions. We have others coming up. I think that voluntary contributions send a signal that is incongruent with our actual position, and that's my reason for not supporting this. And it's difficult because we want to support every single program that's out there that does any benefit for any member of our community. And at the end of the day, we don't have enough resources to do everything for everybody. And we have to pick and choose, and we have to be cognizant of the big picture and the future picture and how it plays. And I think that we're not all going to agree, and we're going to, when we do, hopefully we can respectfully agree, and when we don't, hopefully we can respectfully disagree and go from there.
Mr. Mayor, if I
Yeah,
may
please.
add just one last point. It is my understanding, and obviously I've always been a big proponent of SEMCOG, but they're also treated in a very similar fashion where it's by donation, and very rarely does the city of Gibraltar benefit monetarily or with services from SEMCOG. Again, I say this from a point of I was a rep, I was on the executive committee, but when other communities are also footing the bill and we're a part of that, and at the end of the day, if we needed to reach out and get help, we would get that. SEMCOG is also the same thing. They're a nonprofit that we contribute to annually. I believe it's a higher sum than what the Senior Alliance is. And the Senior Alliance has a direct correlation to what they provide to our city than what SEMCOG has in the past. If I'm aware, in 2023 was the only time that we've really received anything really material, and that was on the asset data collection for roads. We haven't really received much else from SEMCOG since then. That's just a, compare and contrast to this and nonprofits and what we receive materially from each organization. But again, I support it entirely, support our seniors. Thank you guys for providing services to the community. Regardless of how this vote goes tonight, I appreciate you guys for coming out and doing what you guys do.
Mr. Mayor, I just want a clarification from the attorney, if I could. If we make this donation, it's in a violation of law? This is a nonprofit 501c3, correct?
Well, no, it depends. If we're receiving services in return, then it wouldn't be. If it's just a donation to donate, then.
Okay, that's clear. I'm clear then, thank you.
Sorry, not we, but it's the communities receiving services.
Thank you.
Even if the service is received, you still get with the absence of a donation. That's an important legal component here.
Yeah, well, I'd be curious to hear what they would have to say if they feel like the monetary gives some type of added benefit or not.
I think we heard it's allocated, but doesn't change the service level of the community. Any further discussion, Councilman Point? You had your hand up?
I just wanted to say, I'm at that age where everybody is taking care of their elderly parents.
Yeah.
Then they're in nursing homes. And the things that are happening, and I'm not saying all nursing homes are bad, some of them are horrific. And just to have an agency to be able to pick up the phone and call and say, here's what's happening, please help, and get some resources, that's worth everything. And I think if we as a community can't support our elderly people, we shouldn't support anything.
Yeah,
That's just-
and I hear your position. I want to make sure that I clarify, we're still giving all of that support as a community. We invest, and then we are not impacting any ability for Senior Alliance to provide those resident services. What they called was the INA, the contact center, if I heard correctly, takes 16,124 calls a year. I'm just recalling math. We have 73. So it's not, that's where your money goes, and it's very minute impact relative to the scale. I tried to personally cover this check, for which I legally couldn't. I support Senior Alliance as an individual, but I'm not voting for my pocketbook. I'm voting for the taxpayers' funds right now, and I can't, in good faith, authorize a payment when it has no material benefit to our community in the face of a tight budget scenario where we're challenging our employees to weather a storm with us, and that's what I'm here to represent. So I just want to make sure I'm crystal clear on that. This is not impacting any senior activity or offering, period. That's where my head's at. I'm going to take us to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Aye. Do you need a roll to clarify that? We'll need to have a roll call to clarify.
Mulnar,
No.
Schumate,
No.
Bosmer,
No.
Cox,
No.
Dill,
Yes.
Lapointe,
Yes.
McNabb.
No.
Thank you.
The motion is not carried. Thank you again for your service to the communities around us. And back to item I, which is our addition to the agenda. So council, with that being said, I wanted to call your attention to the printed out page I had for you. This one's pretty straightforward. So this is the one that you added in the approval of agenda. In short, we have a zoning ordinance committee. We want to make sure we have adequate representation because you all have approved previously, council members, myself, members of public at large, planning commission connectivity, including Bill Baker, Jim Bilk, ZBA connectivity, Jeff McCarthy, Councilman Cox sits on there. Why I'm bringing this action item is because we need to formalize that Councilman Lapointe, the most recent appointment, needs to be an alternate. And that's really to make sure that we don't have any violation of Open Meetings Act or quorum consideration. So that's the background. My ask is for a motion to appoint Councilwoman Lapointe to be an alternate for Zoning Ordinance Steering Committee.
A motion to appoint Councilwoman Lapointe as an alternate to the ZBA,
Clarify, Zoning Ordinance Committee.
the Zoning Ordinance Committee. I got the reading the top subject line, sorry.
Yeah, that was a typo, my bad.
No problem.
Do you have a second?
Second.
All right, any discussion on this matter?
Is it oh, sorry, you go ahead.
Yeah.
I just wanted to clarify that this is to ensure that we don't have an Open Meetings Act violation, but our planner has made it clear that any council member who is unable to attend any specific meeting, she is willing to have a one-on-one meeting with them as well. So everyone will be able to have the same information.
I like it. And we, just for practical purposes, we've never run into a situation where a quorum is an issue, and we capture minutes, including attendance at every meeting. This is just to make sure that we're accurate.
And I'm really confused because I brought that I would sit because I was replacing Councilwoman Cosmore. So you've had an ongoing problem then?
No, we haven't had any ongoing problem. On paper, we have 4 voting members that could be invited to a meeting.
Okay.
Which could then cause confusion and a lack of clarity or a violation of Open Meetings Act if all 4
Gotcha.
showed up.
Yeah,
We've never
I-
practically ran into that. So procedurally, I'm asking us to have an appointment of alternate for you, as we discussed, so that we can ultimately make sure we manage representation on paper.
Yeah.
Even though practically with minutes and attendance documentation, we've never been in a situation of
And I
violating.
have no problem. I just wondered, do we need to make a motion to reconsider my original appointment? Or no? Because I'm already on there. I mean, we voted to put me on, so do we need a motion to reconsideration and then a motion to put me as the alternate?
City Attorney, I'd take your recommendation, just to make sure you're very clear. She's already appointed. We're just asking for her to be appointed as an alternate. Would that stack on top and be automated to moving forward, or does she need to?
In essence, it's going to be a motion to reappoint as an alternate.
Yeah.
So I'll get clarity to reappoint as an alternate to this board. Thank you.
Does the support that?
Yes.
All right, great. Any further discussion? All right, Clerk Tomasi, please call roll.
Schumate,
Yes.
Bosmer,
Yes.
Cox,
Yes.
Dill,
Yes.
Lapointe,
Yes.
McNabb.
Yes.
Mulnar.
Yes.
Motion carried. Councilman Lapointe, thank you for your service as an alternate. And City Administrator Witherspoon and Jane, if you're tuning in, thank you for all the work you've done to drive that committee. With that being said, we will now turn over to public comment. Are there any members of public that wish to address council this evening?
Don't forget you have a tabled item.
Yeah.
Item F was tabled.
Oh, sorry, before we get there. Item F was tabled, so let's get back to that item. If you recall, that was on our quote for Kennedy Industry for repairs of the pump station with the background context of a bid process consideration.
So we would need someone to remove it from the table if they choose.
Or sorry, and I called out the wrong one. That's replacement of the two existing ACCUs at City Hall. Apologies.
I'm not following. I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time hearing you, and I don't know what we're
We
doing.
tabled the previous discussion around the replacement of our air conditioning units.
Right.
And we were looking for clarity,
We would need a motion to remove it from the table if council chooses.
so.
To bring it back up.
You mean postpone it?
It was tabled.
It was
tabled.
tabled, so you need to make a motion to bring it back.
So if you'd like to revisit the motion, you can make a motion to bring it back from the table. And that was,
Do
again,
we,
item F.
do we have to do it during new business?
We don't have a tabled section, do we?
No, we don't.
No, see, it would be during this.
So it'd be.
Okay. I make a motion to remove from the table item F.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Clarify this is a voice vote is appropriate? All in favor?
Aye.
Any,
I have a question, parliamentary procedure, and I guess I have to refer to the clerk or somebody, but I've never heard of a tabled item at a meeting being brought up at the same meeting again.
Absolutely. Isn't that the
So
intent?
if an item is
Robert's Rule
tabled,
of
it is
Order.
brought back up at the same meeting. If you want it brought up at a future meeting, then it's
Yeah.
postponed to a future meeting. But if it's tabled, it's to be brought back up.
Did
in the
our
same
motion
meeting.
not change from table to postponed?
No, it was
No,
tabled.
it was tabled. Because personally, I made the motion to table. I think we need to,
so we're
To
in a,
address
we're in a vote right now, just to be clear. So we had our eyes.
yes,
well,
we're motioning, so this is a,
I
to
already
take it
called the
off.
voice vote for those in favor, and then any opposed? We're in the middle of an active vote. I just want to be clear here, Councilwoman Boyd, of getting the, was I not in the middle of an active vote?
I thought it was already tallied. There was one no.
What, did I hear a no? I was looking for opposition. I heard you, Councilwoman LaPointe, did you vote no on the opening back?
Yeah, I do not
Okay.
want to talk about it again tonight,
Okay, so,
personally.
this case.
But I
we
don't
have-
know what kind of vote we need. Do you
so
need
Clerk Tomasic
three-fifths?
Clerk Tomasic now needs to call roll, because we were in an active vote, for which there was, what I heard was majority support, and now we have one opposed. So Clerk Tomasic, please clarify our roll call vote to make sure we have accurate voting.
And this is to remove the item from the table.
Correct.
All right, Bosmer,
Yes.
Cox,
Yes.
Dill,
Yes.
LaPointe,
No.
Nab,
Yes.
Mulnar.
Recuse?
Yeah, do I, Anthony, I guess for a little, is this, do I recuse myself from this one, or is this, I mean, it's bringing it back from the table?
Let's bring it back from the table, so you're not voting to approve the actual motion.
Yes.
Schumate.
Yes. Okay, with 6 yes votes and 1 no, are we okay? Is that motion carried?
Yes.
Yes, great. Now that we have the motion removed from the table, let's please proceed.
More procedurally, do we need a motion on the table to discuss?
I would assume, do you need a motion to discuss this item now that it's back off the table?
Yes.
Okay. Can we please have a motion if you so choose, and I'll refer you back to the motion that was proposed, or another motion you may choose to make related to the replacement of the air conditioning units at City Hall.
I'm going back to the agenda. Forgive me. Sorry. There we go. Make a motion to approve the quote from Flow Air for replacing units 5 and 4 in the amount of $14,670.
Support.
Support from McNabb.
McNabb, okay.
Discussion.
So, just getting back to table, if I may, Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Purpose I did that is I think we still need to address that, but tabling is you bring it up, let it simmer, if you will, during the meeting and think about it and then go back to it during the meeting. I think we need to address this now. I don't think we should postpone half the building being unusable. Again, I go back to my original comments. We are not a third world country. I think we went through the right process. We got the bids. I understand your position on that, but that's all I have to say, really, so.
Understood.
Does this, again, just to remind me, does this require unanimous vote for this one?
Any clarity, is this a new contract?
Yes.
Yes.
Then yes, it would require.
Okay, understood.
Okay. So any further discussion before we take this to vote?
I believe you wanted our attorney's opinion based on the purchasing policy. I don't know if you
Yeah,
guys.
I heard the earlier position was that this met the requirements for bidding out based on the purchasing policy. That was what I heard earlier, but it was subject to verification by our city attorney. So if you have a confident position on that matter, given the information described in the packet, the RFQ, the fact that it was sealed, all the above, I would appreciate your legal guidance on that.
Yes, so in regards to that, I do believe it does conform with our purchasing policies. You also asked a question for emergency purchases. You do have the ability as mayor, or city administrator also has the ability to procure transactions beyond 10,000 through quotation process, provided prior consent is obtained from at least 4 of the 6 members of city council. So you're allowed to do emergency purchases, but you'd have to get 4 of 6. The issue we have here, though, is because it requires unanimous, you would need the unanimous.
So my emergency authorization goes away in the face of a unanimous.
Because of this
Got it.
circumstance.
Understood. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to go in circles on this any longer. I think we've had all the discussions. I just want to be crystal clear. We have air conditioning units that are not working, impacting our staff day to day. And that was why I think this is a very important investment, coming from a recommendation from our DPW director, according to a sealed bid process. Anyways, any further discussion? All right, Clerk Tomasic, please call roll.
Cox?
Yes.
Dill?
Yes.
LaPointe?
No.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulnar?
Abstain.
Schumate?
Yes.
Bosmer?
Yes.
That motion did not carry due to the unanimous requirement. City Hall staff, I sincerely apologize for you having to endeavor that further, and we will work on alternate solutions to fix this. With that being said, I'd like to go to public comment. Are there any members of the public that wish to address council? Yes, please, sir, come on up and just make sure you state your name and your address, and make sure that light's still green for me. Thanks for your patience for staying at the last public
okay.
comment.
Dennis Price, 13370 Delaverne. I'd like to know a little bit more about the data center that you guys are voting on. Where is it going to be located? Where is it going to draw its water from? Is it going to raise our electric bills? Stuff like that.
Well, Dennis, I really appreciate it. This is your time to speak, so we often don't respond in this component, but my response.
I'd just like some answers, where it's going to be.
So my response, I'll give you my perspective, which is not usually done here, but I appreciate it. We've put a lot of resources out through our website and our social media channels. Includes an extensive FAQ that addresses each one of the questions you've just raised.
Okay.
We've also had discussions at zoning discussions at our planning commission meeting. All of that is publicly recorded and available for you, so I'm glad to follow up with you after the meeting to make sure I can direct you to those resources. This council is not voting anything related to the data center. We did talk about a topic earlier related to tax consultant, our industrial hygienist, which ironically also ties to your comments there, because we want the information too. The only action this council has taken at this point in time is to put a 12-month or up to 12-month moratorium in place.
Okay.
So that was the extent of the action of council, and then obviously tonight's action was not specific to any project, but more about our interest in gleaning more expertise across topics that we have questions about too, in light of forward-looking zoning ordinance guardrails. So hopefully that gives you some perspective. I really appreciate your patience. We have all of our information. City Administrator Witherspoon's done a ton of work to prepare that, and we'll direct you to that after the meeting.
Okay.
And if you want to stop by any point in time, City Administrator Witherspoon is always in her office, and all the wonderful ladies that are sitting in there with her and our DPW director are present every opening hour of this, unless they're on vacation or out of office for personal reasons.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Any further public comment? All right. Clerk Tomasic, the floor is yours.
Oh, I have no report. Thank you.
Any questions for Clerk Tomasic? Treasurer is not with us this evening, and sending love to him and his family. Council, any reports or updates from your end?
If I may.
Yeah, please.
July 17th is our next American Red Cross blood drive, 10 to 3:30 or 4. Forgive me for the time, but it starts at 10 a.m. And that's the Why Not Abandon Our Nation, the fine, wonderful city of Gibraltar, and the tremendous school district also partners with us. So let's fill all the beds, make an appointment, contact me through my private email account. You can contact me through the city email account. If you see me walking down the street recuperating, I'll put an appointment time in for you. I'll be there. I'll be giving blood on July 17th myself. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much.
Just wanted to comment on last week's Government Day. By far, one of the most adorable things in the world. I can't say it enough. It was just fantastic. City staff did a fantastic job. Kids certainly asked some, I've got 2 little ones. And, it still ceases to amaze me what the kids come up with in their questions. Only comment is for next year, since this council is very active and involved than some may have been in the past. Should we consider, when it comes around again, setting it as a meeting to where all 7 members could be together? I don't know how to work out the logistics, because no shop was really talked, besides who's going to be the next mayor, SpongeBob or Mario. SpongeBob obviously was the best choice.
My mom wanted to.
Also, okay, second best choice. So no shop was talked about. It's simply we were in the same room together. Whatever procedural hoops we've got to jump through to where all 7 members, if they're willing and able to attend, to allow that, I think we should take a gander at next year. Just my comments, but again, fantastic event. It was awesome.
I really appreciate that, and hats off to everybody that made that possible, and to all my peers, they're my right and left, that showed up and showed out for those 2nd graders. We got some incredible commentary coming back from not only the students, but the teachers and the parents. It's probably one of my favorite days of the year, and really cool to see that happen. So thank you all for making it happen. And I love your comments. We shouldn't be restrictive. It was unfortunate we couldn't have all of us in this chambers, so we try to rotate, but that doesn't solve the problem. No. Any other council reports? Councilwoman Boyd.
I think,
Go ahead.
I just told Hannah that I give a shout out and try to rally the seniors for the Downriver Olympics. So I just happened to bump into her at a meeting she was coming back from, and all the other cities are bragging about how many people they have participating. And I said, well, maybe I can help. So anyway, she asked me to just make an announcement. But the dates are August 10th through 14th. I don't know who here, I don't know how old anybody is, but there's a lot of fun activities. So you can sign up for, there's walk, softball, pickleball, my personal favorite. You can golf for what, $14, and that includes lunch. So registration has to be by June 30th, I think, right? So, and the flyers are right there at the counter at City Hall. So I would encourage everybody to come out. It's a fun event.
Thank you so much, Councilwoman Boyd. I agree, and the opening ceremonies I go to every year is a blast, so Gibraltar shows up for sure.
And then I had one other thing. I don't
Please.
know, Rachel, are you going to talk about the Labor Relations Association meeting?
I wasn't planning to.
Okay.
But if you would like to.
Real
It was
briefly, I just
amazing.
went with Rachel to the Michigan Public Employers Labor Relations Association meeting, and they talked about understanding actuarial reports, which was kind of interesting, because I know we had an issue come up with that. Some recent developments in federal and state legislation, and then about some of the labor stuff in the grievance processes that we go through. A lot of great handouts, a lot of highly recommended things that we review with our staff. So I think there's like a list of takeaways that we need to work on or may need to work on, but that'll be led by our city administrator. But it was very good, time well spent for me. And I think we have good questions to go back to the pension board and ask you about, you know, how much to contribute and all that for next year. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Councilwoman Boyd. Any other council reports?
I'll go and just wanted to comment again briefly on what both of you commented on the Government Day. I think we had pretty much everybody up here show up, and everybody's in a positive mood, and everybody, it's an opportunity for all of us to think back to when we were in 2nd grade and see the passion on these kids' eyes of not having to go to school for a few hours. And so it's where we have less pressure on us to try and push something forward or defend our position at something. but just, get rid of all the noise and just be ourselves with looking back and spending time with the rest of the community. And it's a lot of fun. I think Officer Dan Sampson, he was the one that I got to see in person for a little bit in action, and it was pretty cool watching how good he is with the students. I know he's the resource officer for the high school, which I got to talk to him a little bit about some of the things he expected and didn't expect, and he's got a wonderful perspective and a really good ability to manage the conversation with that group, and he did a really nice job from what I got to see. So I just wanted to point that out, that Officer Dan did a really nice job leading that group. Watching these kids get to have 1 second to think about, all right, I just dialed 911, go. And they freeze up a little bit, but he walks them through how to be calm. And when they do have that unfortunate scenario to where they do have to call emergency services, he did a really good job of explaining how his group is there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on Christmas and New Year's, and every opportunity that they ever need those, that they are there to answer them, and how to calmly ask for help, how to calmly give your address. So he walked him through a pretty good lesson, and it was really pleasant to be part of. Another thing that happened in the community was the high school graduation. A lot of people from the community know Lou Stoney and his family. Lou's son was I might screw this up, but the valedictorian. I think that's the top of the class. And so Rocco Stoney got that award for the top of the class at Gibraltar Schools, and pretty awesome to see that. And then lastly, we had the Run Kayak event over the weekend. That was our 8th annual Captain Jim's 5K run and 2.8 kilometer kayak. And some people know the story, some people don't. I won't bore it with repetition. But one of our residents of Horse Island, Renee and Jim Voss, it was for Jim Voss, who passed away in 2017 of HHT. His daughter Lindsay was at one point, and she's no longer, I don't think, the record holder at Gibraltar Carlson for three-pointers made in girls basketball, but she was at one point. Tremendous athlete that went on to Defiance College and played college basketball. She was diagnosed with HHT late in 2017, had brain surgery that resulted in less than maximum movement in parts of the left side of her body. And so we try and do this and some other things every year to try and contribute to one of the organizations that helps with the research and trying to combat that hereditary disease. We've had 3 of their family members, Todd, Janelle, and Al, came in from Alaska and are here for the week. So if anybody's out and sees any of the Vosses at Captain Jim's or at JP's, say hello. They're here from Alaska for the week, and it's a lot of fun that they've came back to support their family and be here for a week of our summer in Gibraltar. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other council updates?
Yeah, the Waterways Commission, the weed harvester, it's in its moorings, it's running well.
Thank you so much.
The lights have been repaired on the Horse Island Inlet.
Appreciate that.
And I believe we have a meeting coming up this Thursday, the first meeting of the year, to get the summer rolling. That's all I have.
Critical commission and execution for our community, and thank you so much for all you do. And shout out to Mike Overwater and everybody on the commission for everything they're doing day to day to make sure our waterways are ready for a great summer ahead of us. Appreciate it.
If I could just real briefly, I just wanted to say shout out to my great niece, Autumn Nicole Dosmer, who graduated from Carlson High School. So, and everyone else that graduated from Carlson High School, congratulations to all the graduates. Thank you.
Thank you. With that, we will turn over to our administrator for her report.
Thank you. So I want to start by apologizing. I did misinform council about the RFP process. I do not have to bring an RFP before council before we put it out. Section 5G states RFP award requires city council approval. So I just wanted to clarify that before
Thank you.
we proceed. Now on to some good announcements. First, a reminder of the nominations for the July 4th community nominations. We have numerous nominations that are available on our website. We also have written out forms that people can fill out when they come in here. We're really excited about the opportunity to honor some of our incredible community members, organizations, and businesses. I also had the opportunity on Saturday to meet with a number of different residents right out here at our park. There were a number of different items that were brought up that we're working on right now. The top priority mentioned was communication methods for the community. So I am going to be working with our police department with the Nixle program. Nixle has the ability to send community updates and community alerts beyond just emergency alerts. So we're going to figure out how to operationalize that and hopefully create better communication flow with our residents aside from just relying on Facebook and our website. Other concerns that were brought up were speeding and traffic concerns, which I've already spoken with the police chief about, as well as recreation programs and activities, ideas for that, some optionality for that, which I've spoken with our Parks and Recreation director about, and some water safety concerns as well. So I'm going to be working with our chief of public safety to see what options we have for water safety. I am hoping to have another one of these meetings in either August or September. I find them really beneficial just to have a more informal conversation with community. And I know two of the council members were there, and maybe they can attest to this, that it's really helpful to just kind of have a brain trust going, and then ideas get bounced off of other people. And I left with a page full of notes and lots of great ideas, and I credit our amazing community for that entirely. So yeah, that's all I have. Any questions or concerns?
Just one real quick, just for clarification. One of the nominations due for recreation for the awards, do you remember the date? Because I don't recall. Or maybe your director does, I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hannah's saying June 25th for those that can't hear.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Hannah, for shouting out from the audience.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Anything further? Any questions or comments?
And thank you all.
All right. From my report perspective, I will not be redundant because many of the highlights were shared, including the graduation, the government day, and many other exciting events or deadlines. But I think it's my duty just to be candid with this group. I'm disappointed in tonight's meeting. And let me tell you why. I take personal accountability because I need to further our procedural efficiency, even when we're faced with complex procedural challenges. So I think we need to continue to clean that up, and I will take personal ownership. That's on me. And sorry for imposing on you all the real-time asks, but we're catching them in real time. What I'm disappointed in is we have a air conditioning unit or units that will not be replaced or fixed, thus causing discomfort for our staff who works in these offices every single day. And I have not heard one articulation on an objective rationale as to why that would violate charter, not be in the best interest of our taxpayers. So I'm very concerned about that. I'm concerned about our DPW director and the teams that work really hard to prepare a packet of information that is sent out on Wednesday so that everybody can digest the information, read the information, engage department heads maybe in advance of the packet or when the packet is there. You are given a multitude of time. We pulled that deadline up, and thanks to Clerk Tomasic for hitting that deadline, and the squeeze is put on department heads. And guess what happens? We show up at the meeting and have a real-time reinvention of strategy, no engagement with department heads in advance. And how do you think they feel when they put a lot of time and energy to prepare information for you on their expert recommendation, they were not engaged in advance, and they get to go back to the drawing table and reinvent their pathway? That's not efficient, that's not effective, that's not serving our residents, and it's not respecting the time of our department heads who are in those offices every day serving. If they had a highlight on Wednesday or before Wednesday of, hey, here'd be a good strategic consideration, maybe you can come prepared to answer this question. Hey, have you thought about this avenue? It's incredibly inefficient and ineffective. And we're revisiting items that were already addressed in previous administration, and I understand that are different contexts or an evolved set of information. So I am disappointed. That's not to detract from all the good things that happen, but I want this administration to figure out how we best work together more efficiently and effectively. I take personal ownership on procedural inefficiencies, and I will strive to do better on that. I'm still learning in some of these cases and getting thrown curveballs real time. And some of those curveballs that are getting thrown real time is because of our lack of engagement up front. So you have my word that I will be better. And I'm asking for you all to consider what I just said tonight, because I'm disappointed in how this went. With that being said, I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Have a great evening, everyone. Thank you.